Welcome to another episode of Your Fitness Podcast, where we feature pros from the industry that give you insight in the fitness world. And we have the man behind the brand, Matrix, Mr. Peter Fillion. Give us a short intro and let our audience know what have you been doing in the industry.
Yeah, so I'll start at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
So originally South African, born and bred. I spent quite a bit of time actually abroad, but I came to Dubai 12 years ago. So I come from a biokinetics background, so more into the sports science, rehabilitation, sports-specific training background. Introduced into Dubai working for the International Cricket Council as a strength and conditioning coach. And then my journey started developing into the different fields of fitness, yeah.
You're now obviously with Johnson's Fitness Middle East, and you've been in the fitness equipment industry now for quite a while, right? It's quite interesting to us to see the advancement in terms of the technology, but share your insight as to what you've seen has been the advancement in, let's say, the last 10 years in terms of the equipment that goes into commercial use and into house use. How has it changed over the last few years?
Johan, I'll be honest with you, when I first came to Dubai, the biggest thing and the most popular thing was CrossFit. And yeah, there's different people have different needs. So you have your crowd that does pretty much functional training, you have your leisure crowd, and then you also have the crowd that trains at home. So if you're talking about development of technology, everything is now connected to everything, nothing is a secret anymore. Your watch is connected, your toes are connected, your shoes are connected, your little follicle in your hair is connected. So yeah, look, I think as the world progresses and as things progress and technology goes forward, equipment also needs to evolve. Yeah, you still have your basic kettlebell that, not much can change on a kettlebell, but when you talk about not just a treadmill, but like, a slack treadmill where the guys imitate a little bit more of the sports performance type of training, great developments.
Yeah. I remember back in the day when this whole thing started, and this is like 20 years ago, as far as I remember, Nike had come up with these shoes where you had a device that went into your sole.
Yeah, there was like a little...
So you had to remove that and change the battery and put it back into your sole and then go run on a treadmill and then connect, to some web-based solution where you would see, okay, those were your steps. And we're far from that today.
I'm going to just go back to the tech again because this is, for me, is quite interesting. Coming from a gym industry myself, right? Yeah. You've got treadmills that have all this beautiful tech in them right now. Yeah. Right? Like you can be running on the new treadmills, all have chargeable platforms, right? So you're running, but you're putting your phone down and then you're charging. And I know the new Matrix machines, right? It's got your MyZone already in.
We were the first ones to launch the chargeable.
So that's amazing. Now, do you see that translate into that is an actual need of the consumer now? Or is it just like it's a nice to have still?
See, Johan, I'll be honest with you. I think it's just a nice to have, and I think because people are so into their technology and they are so on their phones, I think this is just a feature to say, hey, you know what? You can still do your social media while you want to be on the treadmill, or you can still, if you've been driving, you're now at the gym for 40 minutes, your battery's on 2% or 3% or 10%, whatever. Keep it there on the treadmill for how long ever you do your cardio. And that's just a feature that, we felt that it's not a must, but it's a nice to have, And also with the technology, where I want to get a little bit deeper into it is nowadays when you look at fitness clubs, you look at commercial gyms, you look at leisure facilities, because these guys need technology to also manage their equipment, right? So that's something that we really focus on, as well as where we look at asset management software. So what we do is we tell the client, which is a gym or a hotel or whoever it is, we say to them, hey, you know what? Here's the back-end software. You can control everything that happens within your treadmill. You can see, let's call it treadmill 1 did 200 kilometers today, but treadmill 7 only did 2 kilometers per day. So the club owners can then change these treadmills around for longevity. And I mean, we can display on the screens, you can put adverts on it, the world's endless. I mean, there's so many opportunities.
Yeah, I think today's connected world is about seamless connectivity with minimal interference from the user. I think that's what will change the game.
Yeah.
I don't want to name brands that I've experienced
course.
in the and I'm a techie.
Yes.
So when I see things, I want to try it out.
Yes.
And I've gone on treadmills and it says NFC, and I said, okay, I know what's NFC. I tap,
Yes.
and then it's like, okay, now sign in, and then create an account, and then it says you're not in the region that allows. Okay.
What can I do? Should I get off?
No, now connect to a VPN,
Yes.
and then get
Yes.
into US, and then
Yes.
create an account. And I did that because I was so interested to see
Yeah.
what this NFC is going to do for me
Yeah.
through that brand's app.
Yeah.
And I went through all of that.
Yes. No,
It took me a
exactly.
day for a person that's into software and tech.
I can imagine. I can imagine.
And then I just gave up.
Yeah.
It pissed me off. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
what is this?
Yeah.
Why?
No,
Yeah.
but
So that's what I think is going to be the game changer.
Yes.
For brands like you that would understand what is the end user experience,
Yes.
and then where does the back end really facilitate the
Yes.
whole process?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
you said, that's a big advantage
Yes.
for gym owners
Yes.
to be tracking their hardware, probably get notifications on alerts.
Yes,
that
exactly.
it's time for
You know,
service.
everything is, again, as you say, Sujay, but I mean, even where we communicate between the personal trainer, between the facility, between the client then has all the data, on their wearables, or they can do it on their phone, or everything is leading to the let's call it the client experience.
Yeah.
Where I think, we're not living in the 60s anymore. It's not just a dot matrix console. And hey, that depends from client to client.
Exactly,
Some people are on the treadmill to watch their TV or watch their Netflix or whatever. Some people are there to get the job done and get out. But you got it. You also have to make sure that you service both. All different parties, all different clientele, whatever it is.
And how do you see that translate to the home industry?
Yeah.
There's been I won't say a surge, but an increased awareness of having things at home.
Yeah,
Have
I
you
think,
guys
I think the
experienced that?
pandemic has driven that.
Look, I'll be very honest with you. The pandemic was horrible for the world, but for 8 to 10 months, it was amazing for the fitness industry.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'll be very honest. I think we literally had stock for 2 weeks. And then, because we didn't know, we didn't expect, we didn't forecast, and the issue was that we literally sold out all our equipment. I cannot tell you how many pieces because I don't have that number, but it is an amazing thing how people just decided, hey, you know what? We have to get fit and we need to do this to fight this virus or fight this pandemic. So I think, I'll be very honest, since I came to the UAE, we've had a lot of interest in people that want to train at home, right?
Okay.
Some people don't like to drive in the traffic. Some people prefer the privacy of home. I mean, especially within the Arabic culture, it's a very common thing. They have their room or their modulus or their whatever they have, and they rather have the PTs come to them, their setup is at home. So yeah, it's been popular. And of course, now that the pandemic is something of the past, we have seen a little bit of a decline in sales as such. But I'm sure that the people that purchased the equipment back then, they still have it at home and they still utilize it. I mean, personally, I have a lot of friends that works within the aviation industry, and I've sold them probably 20, 30 treadmills because you come back from a flight, you don't want to go again, leave the house, have your nap onto the treadmill, do your workout. So I think it's also depending on personal preference. But yeah, I mean, and this is something about Johnson where we focus not just commercially. That's not our main focus. We also have different divisions within the company. So the company as such, the biggest brand for us is Matrix, which is the commercial brand. But then we also, go on to the home line type of equipment where we have the Horizon, you have Tempo, you have Synca. So yeah, that's my short and sweet answer to you.
So what would be your advice to a homeowner who's looking at investing and setting up? What's the basics they should start with? Because everybody has that doubt in their head, right?
Of
so what do
course.
I start with?
And-
What do I
and-
need
yeah,
to do an all-body workout?
Yeah.
And
See, I think it's when it comes to the client or to the guy that decides he wants to purchase a home treadmill, that purely just depends on his, let's call it what he wants.
Yeah.
Right. I'll be frank with you. We have a treadmill that, you know, even the surface of the treadmill. So if you're going to do trail running, you know, you can click on the button, you say, I want to run on a gravel road, and the treadmill literally imitates gravel road. Or you have a basic treadmill, you press play and you run. You know, so I think deciding on, okay, I want A or I want B or I want C, that purely depends on the person that buys the treadmill himself. You know, you have people that, let's call it a triathlete, or you call it, you know, Bob that works from 9 to 5. It's totally different treadmill that you're gonna, you know, that you're gonna buy.
If you have somebody that comes to you and says, all right, I'm thinking about starting a home gym, I'm not sure what I need. What would be your advice? What is the pieces that he should look at and combine?
I mean, there's different aspects of home training, right? I always believe that the human body is designed to move functionally, but you also need to, you know, get your heart stronger. So for me personally, I would definitely advise him, even if it's, you know, you can go to any, I'm not going to name names here, but you can go to any sports store and you can buy a basic dumbbell or you can buy a basic kettlebell, you know, just to do, let's call it primal movements, because that's what we are designed to do. But then you also need to think of, hey, getting your heart stronger, getting that VO2 max capacity up. So yeah, I think it's just that, from my point of view, is that you need to also, let's say the guy approaches you in a shop, or he approaches me, I would ask them what their goals are. You know, well, is it just that you want to keep moving? Is it something that you want to imitate your type of training when the weather is so hot outside, especially in this region, that you can't really go and do this outside, but you can do this inside? So that all depends on person to person, I would say.
And in terms of, I think, you know, a lot of times when people would approach either of us and go like, yeah, you know, we're thinking about maybe we should start something at home. I think the thing that keeps them back is that they don't know actually how much it will cost. A lot of people think, oh, this is going to cost me a lot of money, right? It's going to cost me 30,000, 40,000 dirhams. Oh, I'll rather go to a gym. But more or less, what would you say would be an amount that people can say, right, for that amount, I can get a decent setup at home. Let's look at the person that wants to lose weight, for instance, right? So we're talking about maybe a rower, a bike, and a treadmill, maybe combination with a few bits and bobs. What kind of budget would they be looking at?
I'm sure it also boils down to the space you have.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah, because you may have a budget, but then you don't have the space, and you know. A lot of permutation and combination.
I'll be frank with you, Johan. I think you can have a very decent setup, right, at home. Equipment that doesn't fall to pieces. You still have your 2 years warranty, or some of the equipment has a 3-year warranty. I would say you can get away for, give or take, I mean, now we're talking a decent treadmill, a rower, and an upright bike, as you mentioned. You can get away for an easy, I would say, 15 to 20,000 dirhams.
Okay, that's not actually too bad. I mean, then you can be training.
If you're talking about a 3-year warranty, which means you don't have to even compare that to an annual subscription at a gym, right?
Exactly. And I think what makes us as a company also a little bit different is we're not a distributor, right? We have our own entity. So we deal directly with the factory when it comes to parts, when it comes to servicing, when it comes to all of these things. We are literally the guys representing the brand within the UAE. So there's nobody in the middle where there can be lost in translation. Oh, but I said this to this guy, and this guy said you're gonna fetch the parts, and this guy said that. It's literally cutting down that, or eliminating that contact point where things might get lost.
Well, that's an interesting point, because I mean, if you say 15,000 to 20,000, you know, you're looking at a gym subscription. What is on average? 5,000 dirhams a year. So that's your 15 over 3 years, right? But I think there's probably a lot of benefits to if you have the equipment at home, right? Where we go, or we don't have time, or I don't, like you said, I don't want to sit in the traffic. Right. So if you can come home and it's right
and
there.
Johan, what you also need to remember is that treadmill serves the whole family.
Oh, that's also true.
Right. If you're going to go to a gym, you cannot join as mom or dad and have the kids and the brothers and the sisters. So, you know, I think just thinking about that perspective, and again, you know, everybody has different needs and different wants, and somebody wants the community and somebody wants this that they get from the interaction. But I mean, that treadmill can be utilized. Let's say the family is 4 people, can be utilized by everybody. the bike can be utilized by everybody. You know, the rower can be utilized by everybody. So
that's a fair point, because I mean, when we had the conversation previously with Vlad, and we spoke about kids having to become active, I think as parents we set that example. We have to be the ones that are active. We need to show them this is what being active
100%.
looks like.
Yes.
It all boils down to education, I think, in every sector.
Yeah, and I think again that education from, you know, I don't want to say kids below, let's call it 12 years, you know, because there might be, you know, some constraints there. But if the kids from a young age see that you're active, they see the dad running, they see mom sitting on the bike. Even if you sit on the bicycle and you read your daily news, you know, or there's nobody disturbing you, don't need to sit in traffic. But that education starts from grassroots, you know, level, and from there, it will just, you know, get a younger and stronger and fitter community.
Yeah, I think that is one of the big things that we need to look at, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the World Health Organization put out a scary statistic now in December, you know, that between the age of 11 to 17, right now, 81% of children don't get the recommended amount of physical activity, right? And I know we talk about this almost every episode, and when we're not on that episode, we kind of talk about that in between ourselves.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's, you know, it's easy to say, oh, it's the social media. It's easy to say it's the tech, or, you know, the gaming, or whatever it is. But the reality is, the way that we spend our time there is the way that we decide to use it.
Yes.
Right? So we get lost in it. And I don't think you always realize how much time you spend on a device when you're going through your Instagram or whatever. I mean, I went out to a restaurant the other night, and Tamsin and I, my wife and I, we were sitting there. I was looking at this other couple, and they were literally not even having a conversation. And we were there for about 40 minutes. I think they spoke 2 words in that 40 minutes, and both of them were on the, you don't even realize how much time you spend on there.
No, exactly.
But if you have equipment at home, and now you're able to say, okay, well, look, I still want to be on my Instagram. I still want to watch my UFC, which is what I do, right? Yeah. Now you can do it while you're working out. So you can be active while you're engaging in all these other things that you want to spend time on, rather than saying, I don't have time. Yeah. Because physical activity is our main focus. Yeah. Yes. You know, that is our main focus.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think as we now progress into the summer months, you know, I would say the weather is still good here for another month. But then, you know, then we're pushing it again till September, where you're not going to be able to go run down the marina. Oh yeah, you can, but you know, it's not going to be comfortable. But and I think as well as, you know, if you have something at home, it's air conditioned. You don't have to sit out. You don't have to go outside. Yeah, there's all different factors that contributes to different things, 100%. Right? But
I mean, like in the summer, my agenda is wake up at 5 if I want to go and swim in the ocean before the sun burns me. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
If I have a machine at home, it's like, okay, I woke up late, but there's no excuse now to get onto that elliptical or, you know,
or row or whatever it is. Yeah.
And that's what I did 2 years ago. Finally got an elliptical at home.
Okay.
So didn't wake up.
You didn't get it from me, did you?
Just a little dig there. You didn't get it from me.
Yeah, we need to have a chat.
Right? Where do you see technology go in fitness right now? I mean, we're talking about that. You're saying it's a nice to have at the moment, and in many respects, I agree.
Of course.
I think if we go into gyms, most gyms we go into, all these brands that are on YFC, right? They all have, I won't say the basic. They've obviously got commercial machines which look bigger and stronger, etc. But there's very few of them where they go for the absolute top notch, where you know it identifies you. You know, facial recognitioning, and
it greets you, hi, Joy, welcome to the treadmill. Today you're going to suffer.
Exactly, exactly, right? There's very few that do. They still use the basic, right? But where do you see technology go? What do you see from a fitness equipment perspective, right? What do you see where technology going?
So I'll answer that question with a little bit of a around the question. What I've seen is coming from the sports science background. The human movement sciences, you know, the biomechanics, the biokinetics, sport or fitness or call it health will always evolve. This is my belief. It's never going to stand still, because not everybody is, it's a business for, but you know, when you're going to look at the elite people, from measuring your stride length, measuring your hip sway,
Yeah.
measuring the G-forces you kick the ball with. I mean, there's crazy things that I'm not going to go into too much depth about it, but you know, technology will always be present in sport and will always evolve. As an individual, I think you can decide, am I going to sit on this side of the line, or am I going to sit on this side of the line? You know, but it's so out there. It's so obvious. It's everywhere. And what you mentioned about the commercial clubs having a good commercial grade treadmill, not all the bells and whistles, recognizing you, saying to you, you know, all of these things that we joked about. But for us as a, let's call it an equipment supplier, or as an equipment supplier, there will always be a new series. There will always be something added. There will always be something new, always be something connected, because that is where the world is going, you know? And yeah, you can be on your dot matrix treadmill and it still does the job, right? The physical activity is still happening, but let's call it technologically, you're going to stay behind.
Yeah.
Right. And if you don't evolve with technology in these modern day and age, yeah, you're going to stay behind. You know, and the funny thing is what I always say about a treadmill, and maybe this is a bit of education. Like, a lot of people like to press quick start, right, on the treadmill. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that treadmill doesn't know your age. That treadmill doesn't know how tall you are. That treadmill doesn't know how much you weigh. So even if you're on the treadmill, you're off the treadmill, it still counts calories.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Because you see
It
that
shows on the screen.
you see that so often, like the guys just, you know, press the button. And I used to work on passenger cruise liners as well. And, you know, we always made the joke where the guys press quick start. And then I said to him, well, go to the buffet, have your meal, have your coffee, have your drink. And when you come back, you're still burning calories.
Exactly.
You know, so that's, and again, it's just a little bit of education where, you know, if you're going to have your connectivity or your connected solution or your wearables, when you get onto the treadmill, that's technology as advanced as you want it to be, everything happens through here. You literally get on the treadmill, you register your name, it knows your age, knows your weight, it knows your previous workouts, it has all of these things connected, and you can literally take that information away with you, you know, and that's the beauty. And I think, as I said, like, it's not for everybody, but the guys that really, you know, get educated properly on, hey, I am here, these are my goals, I want to achieve weight loss, or I want to build muscle, or whatever the goals are, you can literally have everything connected.
Yeah.
You know?
So when you go into a gym, and I'm sorry, now I'm thinking about it as a gym owner again, right?
Yeah.
If you go into a gym and now they say, okay, look, we're going to either build a new concept or we're completely renovating, and we like to have these equipment.
Yeah.
Is there a process where you guys as a company look at that and go like, do you know what, actually, we don't think this is the right scope for them? And do you make recommendations and then give them maybe that type of education that they need? Because I know, and you know, not all gym owners
has that
kind
capacity.
Of exactly that understanding. They might have, you know, they might have the passion and they might have the funds to start a gym, and that's really what they want to do. And we commend them for that, because we need more gyms. There's a lot of gyms, but we need more, right? But I don't think they're always the best people to sit and go and say, all right, this is how we need to construct those gyms. So if I was a gym owner and I was to come to Matrix and I was like, okay, you know, I want to start one, where do I go? What do I do? Do you guys provide that service?
Yeah, look, I mean, when it comes to, let's call it a due diligence report, or you do a little bit of a feasibility study or those type of things, we don't get too involved in those kind of things, but we will literally ask you, what is your target market? You know, what type of clientele are you focusing on? We will also need to know the space. You know, we need to work out, you know, when it comes to spacing and the flow of the gym, we have to look at that. Yeah, money, as you mentioned, is also, you know, it's a factor, because you have all your overheads, and when you start a new gym, the first thing you want to do is minimize, you know, these kind of things. But I think what makes us a little bit different to the competitors out there is we have 3 different, You know, so you have your intermediate level, you have your your beginner level, intermediate, and then your advanced treadmill decks. But then what do we do a little bit different is we have 5 different consoles. So this console any console can go onto any treadmill. So if it's a basic LED screen, it can fit on this treadmill. If it's a 22-inch touchscreen, it can go. So, you know, you can move these things around as you wish. Bikes, treadmills, ellipticals, you know, all of these things. Because some people, let's say, they just care about the technology. They don't care about the wearability so much. Yes. Then we say, hey, go in with the entry-level deck and we give you the best screen. Some gyms are all about, you know, about, hey, this thing is just here. The people come here and train and get out. We give you a really proper, you know, base, and we give you a basic LED screen or you know, whatever it is. So that, Johan, helps a lot with cost.
Yeah.
You know, because the other guys say to you, if you buy this treadmill, this is the screen, this is what it costs. Where we say, hey, you know, up to you. You tell us what you feel. And let's say 2-3 months down the line, your clients or your customers, they say, hey, we need a little bit more of technology, or we need a little bit more of this. No problem. Fetch that console, get the new consoles. There's your new technology.
Modular approach is
approach,
is good.
exactly. You know, and that's what we've seen is especially when it comes to budgeting, when it comes to those kind of things, it helps a lot.
Where do you see the FitTech world moving towards cross-platform integration? Because what I see right now is each brand is trying to be the Apple of the industry.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. No.
Do the hardware, the software, and you know, create their own worlds, right?
Yeah. I think, Sujoy, where we do things maybe a little bit different to the world out there, if I can use that terminology, is we are there to find our customers connected solutions, right? If I mean connected solutions, I mean from you as a customer coming to my gym, you have your RFID, you have your phone, you have your watch, you have an RFID code. This RFID gets you into the facility.
Yeah.
This RFID opens your locker. This RFID tracks your workout. This RFID buys you food. This RFID, you know, so
there's so much that can be done.
It's literally we try and set up a whole seamless procedure to the fitness industry.
Okay.
Everything is connected to everything, and as I said, you even have a personal trainer. Personal trainer communicates with you through your watch and say to you, Sujoy, your workout for today is ABC.
Yeah.
You know, what we also do is, as I mentioned with the asset management, I can do, you know, I can literally say, today we have a sprint class. This is your workout. All the guys that signed up for the class, they already know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So as I said, I think technology is not for everybody.
Yeah.
But where we see it as a company is it will always keep evolving.
Yeah.
I'm actually scared to think what's next.
Well, that was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
As you said, I mean, technology is not for everybody, but from a consumer point of view, if the process is seamless, to an extent where they have nothing much to do besides that initial data entry, when it comes to informing your device of your age, height, current weight goal, etc. Right? Like you have right now on Apple Health or Google Health.
Yes.
And this is from an experience from yesterday.
Okay.
My father is 75.
Okay.
And he's never had an Apple Watch. But now he suddenly got into this thing. Okay, I'm going to walk and I'm going to do this, and I've been doing. I was like, so how many steps are you doing? I don't know. I'm walking 15 minutes. I said, here, that's an Apple Watch.
Yes.
And I'm going to track you. I was like, how are you going to track me? I said, we're going to pair on Apple Health. And he was excited. I said, and so what do I need to do? I said, nothing.
You just breathe.
Just wear the watch
Yes.
and walk briskly, and I'll know if you're, you know, you've got the heart rate right. And
of course.
So now when he started seeing that data, he's so excited.
Yes. Because now he thinks,
now,
you know, I'm now here, I want to be 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 here.
Early, he'll call me like, so what did I do today? Like,
Dad, look at the watch.
I won a medal.
Look at your watch.
Because he got a pop-up saying, you've achieved your goal, and you know, he got a medal, so he was excited.
Yes.
So now he's like got enthusiastic about it, and
course.
he's like, "So what's next?" So I
Yes.
said, "There are a lot of medals to win,
Yes.
and now we'll set goals." And then I
Yes.
went to his watch because earlier I just set it to, 5,000 steps.
Yes.
Because he's just recovered from,
course.
a knee surgery.
Yeah.
So step by step, but now he's got that motivation. He's got a goal to achieve,
Yes.
and even someone at that age who is just used to using an iPhone
Yes.
and not wearing all these wearables
Yes.
and gadgets,
Yes.
coming
Yes.
from an age where,
Yeah, of course, totally different day and age,
So-
right? Yeah.
so quickly adapting, and then I've
Yeah.
seen that with others as well. And I think that's going to be the big game changer, where the seamless integration of technology with everyday wearables, and why I asked that question for cross-platform integration,
Yeah.
would be the game changer.
Yeah.
I think, and the brands that take that approach, where we're not trying to close and everything has to be our brand and our
Yeah.
wearable and our device, is,
Well,
is not going to work.
We know about a few brands that do that.
Yeah, I
Where
know.
everything
Yeah.
is closed off,
Yeah,
and it's like
yeah.
we don't go outside of this.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
Right.
and I think again, everybody has their legalities and their reasons and their that. But even for us, like if you're a club owner, all the data that's captured through the system or through our treadmills or through whatever it is, that's for you to use. For us, yeah, it's valuable information. But
Yeah.
I mean, why would I keep your client's information for myself?
yeah.
How does that make sense to
Yeah, I mean, I think with this
anybody, right?
digital age, that data privacy issue is always going to be there.
Yeah.
So that's never going to end, and security protocols are just going to keep getting.
Yeah, they always change.
Yeah.
We've
But
seen
having
it now
said
in
that,
wearables.
I think looking at it from a broader perspective on an agenda to make the world a healthier place and get humans back into action.
Yes.
I think this is going to be the game changer. The data that me as an individual gets to read about myself that motivates me
Yes.
to achieve my goals
Yes.
and get back there regularly,
Yes.
right?
No, 100%.
So that's what drives an individual, right? It's
Yeah.
the human tendency, the competitiveness, and that's what we
course.
keep talking about, what we're driving through our app, the holistic approach towards bringing communities together onto
yes.
one solution that
Yes.
doesn't make them, okay, connect here, go there, log in here, log in there,
Yeah,
and
it's all-
no, it's all there. Everything comes together.
Exactly.
And that would be
Yeah.
what changes the way the community thinks about fitness
Yes.
and taking care of their own health.
Yeah, because it is just about getting people to be active,
move.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Just move. It's not. We're not saying you must go to the gym.
Yeah.
We're not saying you must go and run.
Yeah.
You must do. We're saying just be active.
Yes.
Get up and go and walk and get a cup of coffee, right?
Yes.
Instead of phoning someone saying, "Hey, can you bring me a cup of coffee?"
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
It's just that kind of thing. We just want people to
And
move.
along with that, when you get insight about what you did was, giving
key
you
thing.
X result, and then driving me to do better. Like I know I could be chilling on a treadmill for 90 minutes, strolling with my phone and doing social media, against doing, 60 minutes, keeping my heart at the right,
yeah.
percentage, which will give me the results.
You,
what I
you see
should-
them.
Yeah.
You see them often, though, right? Where they're on the bicycle. I won't say who,
Yes.
but they're on the treadmill, not on the treadmill, on the bike, and they're reading a book.
Yeah.
And then like, are you really
I mean,
doing
one
anything?
foot is barely going in front of the other one.
Exactly.
It's like
it's not really. It's like, and I think also again that's what it alluded to. You alluded to earlier, right? Is education.
Yeah.
They don't understand that you actually have to get your heart rate up
Yes.
to achieve any form of result.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, there's not much that's going to happen. It's a lot like when people say, well, I'm busy fasting, I'm not getting the benefit of losing weight and getting new white blood cells and all of these things. But you only really get that if you remain active while fasting.
While fasting.
You can't go and start fasting and then go, okay, well, now I'm also going to do less. Right? Because it kind of like even each other out.
exactly.
Each other out.
Yeah.
So
Look, I mean, sorry to interrupt you. Weight loss is very easy.
yeah.
It's so easy, but people make it so complicated.
Yeah.
What you put in, you got to put out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so easy. Like if you have your meal of 5,000 calories, right, and you don't burn 5,000 calories, or let's call it 4,000 calories. If you're not going to go into a calorie deficit, you're not going to lose weight.
Yeah.
It's it's not rocket science.
Yeah.
So
Where is the company moving to right now? I mean, I know we spoke previously and you said, well, look, there's something big that's coming and you couldn't tell us. I mean, shall we put you on the spot and say, can you give us a little bit of insight as to what's coming?
Could you sink us into what's happening?
Yeah. I'm not going to elaborate too much. No, Johan, to be frank, I think what makes us a little bit different as Johnson HealthTech Middle East is Johnson is a holding company, right? So under the holding company, we have the different brands, as I mentioned earlier. So Matrix for us is our big commercial brand. Then we have, when it comes to the home line equipment, which I mentioned earlier, we have our Tempo, and then we also have Horizon. And now quite a new brand that we got on board is actually the brand is called Fujiruki.
Okay.
It's from Japan. We do massage chairs, we do massage cushions, we do massage guns. So again, I think just fitting into this holistic approach of, hey, yes, we want you to run, we want you to be active, we want you to use the treadmill, we want you to use the bike. But, as we know, when you exercise, there's a buildup of lactic acid. Right?
Yeah.
And how can we fulfill this little picture that we're painting with the recovery type of tools?
Yeah.
So, and in regards to the commercial front, I can't say too much.
Okay.
All
right.
There's things happening, and I think these things will be revealed pretty soon. And then, as I said, with the home line, with the recovery things, that again keeps evolving.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's for us in short just how the company operates is more of a, we call ourselves the family, because it's a family business out of the US and Taiwan. So the design happens in the US, the factory's in Taiwan, but it's still run by the founder of Johnson HealthTech. It's now run by his son, but it's a family business, so.
Okay,
so, yeah.
well, that's good to know. So, well, listen, thank you very much for coming on to our podcast today. We really enjoyed it. I think there's a lot of information out there for both the consumer and the gym manager, gym owner.
Yeah.
And we already have Matrix on our store, so
Exactly.
you guys can burn, earn, and shop and get some amazing products by Matrix already available on the app.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, thank you very much.
Thanks, Johan. Thanks, Sujoy. Thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Fantastic. This YFC podcast was brought to you by Johnson HealthTech Middle East. Like, subscribe, and share.